The College Baseball Experience preview and picks episode for February 20th on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Kalshi. Yes, make real money predicting sports, people. Kalshi is available in all 50 states. You get $20 free with the promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, this is LeGarrette Blunt, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the College Baseball Experience. Preview and picks episode for Friday, February 20th. I can't talk, which is perfect for me being the host of a college baseball talk show. YouTube.com/the college experience. Get on over there, hit that like and subscribe button because, the season is off and running here. And I mean, the first week, the game I was at in Chapel Hill against Indiana, by the way, which I didn't think they'd be able to top the amount of errors and the timely amount of errors in the first game. The second game said, hold my beer, Dundee, with the way that game. Oh my God. I still think that guy needs to be investigated, but,
investigated or just like looked after if he has the YIPS.
Looked after for 100% too. I mean, he's lucky they won a natty in football recently. All right. So they're probably still on easy street right now. They're probably still nice, but man, but that was the biggest turnout ever for opening day weekend in Chapel Hill. And let me tell you, man, it was a little frigid, but the place was packed. Shout out to those Carolina fans. And I saw that as kind of the theme throughout the entire slate of for the most part. Like I saw UT Rio Grande with the great showing there, with their fans coming out to support their ball. Is it Sunrise, Arizona? Is that Sunrise, Arizona? Man, those Beavs fans were rolling deep. So it was beautiful to see. We're going to talk more about that in a second, though. But if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Yeah, I mean, the performances, like, crowd-wise, I feel the sport growing. As much as ESPN wants to neglect it, the people are speaking. The people are speaking by us watching it. I see, like, my Twitter feed is just blowing up with great college baseball games, outcomes. We had a dude, Bieniek, what's the guy's name that hit 3 grand slams? I mean, we're going to give
Tyce
him
Armstrong.
Yeah, we're gonna give him greatest human being to ever be in planet Earth. All right, so right there, he wins it there. Speaking of which, one of the greatest human beings on planet Earth is perhaps this guy, because he is the heart of the college baseball experience. You also can hear him on the college basketball experience nightly. Give it up for the great Noah Bieniek. How are you, buddy?
What's going on, Colby? Yeah, for opening weekend was a ton of fun. I was able to watch 9 games live in Arlington at the Shriners Children's College Showdown. Reverend entertainment people, Reed and Chris Williams were great to me, and the games were great. And then, guys, I came home to a package on my doorstep, and I know that JP is going to absolutely love this real quick. This is from the great people over at Chinook Seedery, Matt Beard and Beaver. They are tremendous. I mean, I've got 4 of these.
You got a lifetime supply.
Just 4. Filled to the brim. So
that's fantastic.
we were talking about it with 11.7. Like, I'll be Santa Claus with sunflower seeds to the high school, just bringing them every other game. But, yeah, shout out to those guys as well.
Hell yeah, man. And yes, we are joined by a third man in the booth. He is the host of the Head First podcast, former Cincinnati Bearcat alum. Give it up for JP Sponseller. How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. Very entertaining first week of baseball. I have not been doing so hot on my bets here, so I'm looking to bounce back. I'm coming back with a vengeance this weekend. I'm ready to go.
I haven't been much better, so I've been just over 500.
Look, I know you guys know college baseball much better than me, but there's just something I think I can give experience-wise of doing the college experience for over 8 years now is the more the portal and NIL play a factor, the harder it is to project coming into the season.
And you know, shoot, when you have opening day, 9 top 25 teams lose, like that's going to wreck a card too.
Yeah. I mean, well, and you add in I know you said like Bakich was saying he wants it later because it's also like some of these places like I don't even care like I know Bloomington, Indiana is cold, but Chapel Hill was cold the other night, man. When I was there, I was shooting down hot chocolates like and I'm not the hot chocolate type of guy, but I was like, damn, I'm cold. Give me something hot. They didn't have coffee, so I do think maybe there's some to that, but I think a lot of it is you see it with college hoops and college football, especially. I can compare it to when I covered the sport 4 or 5 years ago, when you didn't have this ridiculous turnover, and I feel like my preseason projections were way better now. And I'm talking like week 1, week 2, as the season goes on, you collect that data and you watch with your eyes and you just say, hey, and that's the one thing I'll say, watching with your eyes. And like I just thought the sport was a great showing, even with all that, even with all those teams losing. I watched so many good games, whether it was Charleston and Coastal, whether it was UCF Miami. That game was awesome. I mean, I thought that game was won 5 different times before it was actually won. And the games have just been delivering. I was watching Morehead State and Kentucky. That was a good one there. Just the sport is thriving though. And I still feel like before we get into these games, hey, ESPN, there's this great thing you have. It's on your platform for the most part. Can you market it a little bit? Can you have a meeting and pretend like guys, am I in the wrong here? Do I just feel like there's this gem? You have this diamond, and you're like, no, just fucking shove it on aisle 34. You know what I mean? Like what? Can we cover it a little bit better? What do you think, Bieniek?
I mean, yeah, we've only been screaming this from the rooftops for a couple of years now. At this point, I'm just like, hey, them not covering it actually does more for us that do cover it. Like everybody that's looking for coverage will end up tuning into the college baseball experience or something else on YouTube, and that helps out all the other independent media outlets. So shout out to I think it was like 4,500 that tuned into the opening day picks pod. That was a fantastic turnout.
Yeah, I mean, JP, do you think they could do a better job marketing? And how's it been for you? Just what, like, I know the picks for all of us, I think I've had, or at least for myself and you, I think have had ups and downs, but the games have still been delivering. The actual product is great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been extremely entertaining. And that's what, like, I almost sent out a tweet, like betting on baseball is ruining like my love for college baseball. Cause like, I'm usually always pulling for these underdog upsets, and I'm sitting here pissed that Florida got beat by UAB on opening night and Oregon State and ECU lost. But yeah, I mean, ESPN has honestly done a terrible job of covering the sport for years now. I will say, once the World Series starts, they do a phenomenal job out there, and I think the coverage out there is outstanding. Maybe that's just because that it's like night and day to what we get in the regular season. But to Noah's point too, like, just keep not covering it because it helps all us little guys out.
and that's to my point too. Like at the end of the year when they go all in and they cover it, it's fantastic. But they throw people in the booth that haven't been covering it all year, and they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about other than their conversations with the coaches and players prior to the games. So it's
I know it from like just some of our basketball fans, and then some within my own family. Like my oldest brother, his son is heavily into baseball, so it's getting him. Like he was always just a Baltimore Oriole fan, MLB, right?
And we went to the Carolina game, and I'd taken him last year. He was there with me at the regionals there in Durham for the Duke game, and or for the Duke series, I should say. And he started to really get into it, and he's just been telling me, he's like, dude, this product's awesome. So it just tells you that, like, if you, and like I said, the DMs from college basketball fans, that's my first year checking out college baseball. It's pretty fire. And I'm like, yeah. And I was one of those. I mean, a couple years ago, like I said, so I just feel like they have an untapped thing that they just don't go too much. I understand March Madness is going. You got the NBA and shit, and NHL, but I still think, man, this is a gem there. Shout out to Ryan 9972 giving us $5. Love the show. Drink a couple Miller Lights for me, Colby. I can do that. That's one thing. I may not be giving you the best winner every time so far this season. ECU, you bastards. But I can drink beer for you for sure. All right. That's been proven. Appreciate that. Shout out to Abner. I lost all my money in college baseball. You're a Miami fan. How are you not on the Canes in that UCF matchup? Yeah. Anything you guys want to hit on besides that? Obviously, just great games and fun matchups. What was the biggest surprise? Was it UAB against Florida? Bieniek, I know you're a Gator guy. What was one of the biggest surprise for you?
There were quite a few surprises opening day or opening weekend. I cannot lie. The biggest one to me was probably Michigan State going into Louisville and taking 2-3 at Jim Patterson Stadium.
I watched some of that opening night one. The opening night was opening Friday. That was right.
Yeah. My buddy, actually, I played travel ball with his older brother for years. Adam Broski, Michigan State's catcher. He deposited a ball into the parking lot, which is a bomb. That's like 425 feet out to left field. So,
unbelievable. So you think Michigan State? How about you, JP? Would you agree with Sparty or maybe the Blazers or somebody else?
Overall in the weekend, I mean, Michigan played an unbelievable weekend. Me and Bieniek were kind of talking before. I do think they caught a couple down offenses that are either not that great or still figuring out the pieces a little bit, but they had a really impressive weekend. And I mean, Xavier as well. I know people are used to ECU starting slow a bit, but very high expectations going into this season. And I know my lock of the week last week was Oregon State and ECU, and the fact that Ethan Norby and Dax Whitney lost on opening day is still shocking me.
That's the epitome of college baseball.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what we see this upcoming weekend and this Friday. So
yeah, and look, a lot of people have been hitting us up, Bieniek, about hey, why aren't you guys doing this daily like we do with hoops or football whenever there's something? Well, we don't know who the hell's. This is the beginning of the season, so we're going to be on Thursdays, and as the season revs up, and we are able to gain more data. Yeah. And project. Okay, they're going to be throwing this guy.
Gain more time.
Yeah. Yes, that too, because March Madness kicks our ass right now. As I'm doing like 9 hours on a mic today. Yeah. But yeah, I like this. More episodes. We will definitely do more than Thursday night episodes down the line.
Yeah.
Just for clarity there. Anything else you guys want to add before we jump into these games?
No, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but it's like, you're lucky if you get projected weekend rotations for you Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Most teams will slap a to be announced on Sunday because they'll throw, the kitchen sink at one or two of these games just to win a series. Like that's college baseball as a whole. You're not necessarily trying to win all three. Take 2 or 3, and most teams are happy in a weekend. And then the midweeks, it's like 25% of the games you'll know the pitcher, so it's a real crapshoot early on in the year to know kind of how you what teams you're actually betting on. So it's like, yeah, the best day for us to make content out of it right now is Thursday nights.
Yeah. With that said, let's jump into this because all weekend there is action going on. That's the best part. That's another thing that can be overwhelming, I think. If you just dive in and don't know anything. Yeah. It's like college hoops. Yeah.
How about last weekend with a lot of people were dodging rain on Sunday, so we had so many doubleheaders. We had like 150 games on Saturday alone last weekend.
Yeah, and I see the chat talking about this. Hawaii was another great story too, man. Hawaii Gonzaga games, those things were delivering, man. I watched a good portion of those. Like
for B on Twitter asking Hawaii pick. I like the Bows tonight. They're playing tonight at like midnight.
Oh, he's talking basketball. Oh yeah. I actually went. Oh, is he talking baseball?
Okay. Both of them play actually. So both basketball and baseball play at midnight.
I love it. We got content through the night. That's perfect. Yeah.
Well, Hawaii's not televising their baseball game because they're televising the basketball game.
What?
So
this isn't 1965.
They don't have two.
They don't have two cameras. They don't have two cameras.
Happens a lot.
This happens to a lot of mid majors in general.
Yeah, they don't have two camera crews to
work.
Cincinnati's game at Jack State was not televised Saturday because they had a home basketball game.
It's hilarious, but
Hawaii. They got to figure this shit out, guys. We got to. What's going on here?
B's saying he's clarifying baseball. So yeah, Hawaii's throwing their ace tonight against Wichita State's one of their midweek guys. So I think just off the rip, they've got a little bit of an advantage off the bump. And minus 180. If you look at it tonight, they're minus 180. Tomorrow they're minus 180. So the books are just slapping a blank price across the Rainbow Warriors right now, and I think that you get value here tonight with the ace, and then probably a little inherited value with Wichita State tomorrow with their ace going up against Hawaii's number 2. So we'll talk about it more later on in the show.
I mean, at this point, anyone going to the game, we will give you a $100 SGPN gift card if you can set up a tripod and just hit record on your fucking cell phone. All right.
There you go.
I mean, this is not. I mean, dude, like the excuse is pretty lame in 2026. Like we could watch a lot of crazy shit. Yeah,
you would like to.
Oh man, we need to call. That's the one knock about college sports, and you see it with the radical change and having like UCLA even in the Big Ten or something is like they're so late to adjust until it's too late.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, well. Anyone got the radio? Maybe you can get a play-by-play there. If not, you got to go out to it, old school style, right?
Yeah. We were talking pre-show. All right, what do we talk about before the games? Well, we figured it out, and it went 17 and a half minutes. I love it.
There you go. All right, let's jump into it because tomorrow, Phoenix boys, the Michigan Wolverines, are heading to Globe Life Field where Bieniek was just sleeping to take on Saudi Arabia State, aka Florida State. Florida State's minus 270 on that money line. Michigan plus 200. I know you had a great first week there, Bieniek, with your boys, and what you're going with Tate Carey or something, right? Or is that TBA?
Yeah, well, Tracy Smith, the head coach of Michigan, always just kind of uses gamesmanship with these pitching announcements and whatever. Like they're one of the culprits where we just don't know who's exactly throwing any given week. I'm assuming it's Tate Carey because he threw last Friday, and he's the best pitching prospect for Michigan and what is overall a very good pitching staff. And I think up there with UCLA for the best staff in the Big Ten. I don't think Carey is the best college pitcher in quotation marks there for Michigan. I think he's the prospect. He's got a 4-pitch, 5-pitch mix, low to mid 90s fastball. He can flash, plus off speed offerings, but it's like against Oregon State, who I don't know how good their offense is this year. We were talking about this pre-show is like Michigan had a pretty good draw against 3 teams in Oregon State, Arizona, and Stanford opening weekend where all 3 of their offenses on paper are kind of underwhelming, at least to begin this season, in my opinion. Florida State's offense is not. And I think that Carey, he dodged a lot of trouble. He had a couple of walks, didn't throw a whole lot of strikes on opening day. It's either you're going to bet on him to bounce back and you think that Michigan can win if he keeps Florida State low scoring at plus 200, or He has a little bit of he has murky waters again early on in this game. Michigan gets into the bullpen, able to hold the Florida State down a little bit. You're looking at an under or maybe a Michigan run line. But I think the Seminoles ultimately win this game with Wes Mendez on the mound. JP, what do you think?
Yeah, Wes Mendez is a guy that we kind of saw burst into the scene late last year. Had a really good start last week against JMU. Offense struggled a little bit on Friday, but then you did see it start to kind of explode on Saturday, and then there in the midweek. I do think the Michigan magic kind of runs out this weekend as a whole and starting tomorrow. I'm with you, though. Like, I think because of Florida State's offense, we might see a number here, hopefully around like the 12s, where I would consider an under here. I don't see Michigan putting up much offensively tomorrow, especially at least for the first 5 innings. But yeah, I think for me, I'm going to have to kind of wait to see what the run line and what the over under is here.
Yeah, and that's something. And by the way, if you're wondering, because last week I was reciting run lines and over unders. I do not see them currently on DK.
Yeah, that's another thing.
When will that? When do you think that'll drop? Like, if you had to guess.
So those typically drop, I would say, late in the night or like early in the morning.
This is a 10 a.m. noon game, so we might see this one come out late tonight. I've noticed they kind of do it based off game time. At least this season, they've been doing a better job of at least so far getting them out as early as possible, and they've been going on game time. So this one could be out any minute, but some of the later games maybe not till deeper into the tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's the other reason why we don't do shows, or we haven't done shows, more than one day in previous seasons, is because Thursday night's the only night that we get odds, the night of or the night before.
So not only does ESPN need to improve their work, I would say the books need to too, and maybe just release more information. Maybe that A plus B equals C here. Maybe the schools need to release who they're going to be going with earlier. I don't know,
Correct.
but and shout out to 357. Look, but ESPN Plus covers majority of them. Flow Sports. What was the other one that we were watching? The
Victory Plus.
Yeah,
for Puerto
Victory
Rico.
Plus.
This weekend, there's a new one that'll be introduced too. It's like through d1baseball.com. So,
but ESPN Plus covers so
there.
much. Like, if you're just a lay fan and you don't have a dog in this race yet, if you don't have a team that you say, I love this team.
Yeah.
ESPN Plus gives you a large dosage of games. So it's like, that should be able to bring you home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you have a cable provider and ESPN Plus, you're good, because you'll need ACC Network Extra and SEC Network Plus to get a lot of the big games.
Some of those really good games. Yeah. I actually had to deal with that. I had to go. I had ESPN Plus for years, but I actually had to go buy that new ESPN Unlimited or whatever the hell, their new bullshit $30 thing.
Yeah.
But highly recommended though, because the ACC and SEC are two of the better conferences in the sport. So both you guys on Florida State, and I'm gonna follow. If Bieniek's fading Michigan, this is when I listen. All right,
I faded them last week, and they had a 3-0 weekend, and they knocked off Oregon State. So, but yeah,
that is true.
I'm just doing my best to guide people in the right area. Under maybe a Michigan run line, but I think Florida State wins the game. And what's going on with these slides?
You're not putting them in Google Slides, are you? That's the problem.
Well,
you're just downloading it. When you downloaded it, it just does it. It just makes up shit. Long Beach State is in the College Classic. Where's this located?
So this is the Kleberg College Classic in Corpus Christi,
I have the thing on top of it. My bad.
Hosted by Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and this is game 1 of it. Solid.
Yeah, my apologies. It says Corpus Christi right in front of my face. It's just my the slide numbers was right on top of it. They are taking on these Pitt Panthers, and I'm seeing, is that Pitt plus 160?
Both jerseys behind me here on my dresser here.
There we go. Pitt is minus 166, not plus 166 against these dirtbags. Dirtbags plus 130 on the money line over at DK right now. This is system play for me. I'm all over Long Beach State here. I'm not even letting you guys go in first before I gather my opinion. I don't trust Pitt playing baseball. The Dirtbags have been a great program over the years. All right, it's in Texas, so it's not like they're going cross country. I mean, both of them mileage wise, I feel like it's similar amount of distance. Bieniek, am I a maniac for thinking plus 130 on the money line is a smash play on these Dirtbags?
No, I don't think you're a maniac at all. That's actually the way that I was going to point people towards too. And I'm, kind of interested. I haven't bet any of these yet. We were kind of preparing for the show, but I like Long Beach State here too. So I think the wrong team could be argued as the favorite here. I think Long Beach State could be.
I was surprised when I saw the slide was messed up. I was like, wait, Pitt should be the dog here, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on like how much you weigh the last place projected team in the ACC up against the 6th or 7th place projected Big West team. I think the Big West is strong this year. And I think TJ Bruce did an excellent job in year one, getting that team to basically 500 in league play last year, in his first season, kind of rebuilding. And Long Beach State, they have a freshman that they really like on Friday. And JP will talk about him in a little bit. Whereas Pitt on Friday here, they're going with their grad transfer senior, David Leslie, who's a D3 guy out of Grove City. And his first start was against Western Michigan. And I have very low hopes for the Broncos this year. And he didn't go super deep into that game. I'm not really sure what we're getting out of this grad transfer right-hander. He went 4 innings, had 3 strikeouts at the Division III level last year. He had, I think it was like 80 strikeouts to 70 innings pitched. So it's not like a crazy arm whatsoever. And nothing that Long Beach State hasn't seen, in my opinion. And I'm going to be on the Dirtbags here. JP, how about this freshman righty?
Yeah, Jason Gerfers, the freshman from Corona, California. Last week, he came in against San Jose State, got through 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So obviously, if they went to him this early in the season, he's displayed some talent. They got some trust in him. Showed some strikeout numbers there through 4 1/3. Also had the 4 walks. I think that comes with a little freshman jitters now. Now, again, this will be his first, I think, named start because he came in to that Friday game last week. Yeah. So maybe those jitters are still there. But Colby, to me, I think you kind of hit this one on the head. Like, have to pick a bet in this game. Look at these prices. Like, there's no way in hell I'm taking Pitt minus 166. I'm taking the Dirtbags plus 130 here.
Yeah, you mentioned it, JP. Like, Gerfer's out of Corona High School there in California. They had like 3 first-round picks last year. 5 guys, I think, drafted in the first 5 rounds. So I'm just going to bet on the guy's pedigree. I think the Long Beach State Dirtbags win this game.
Let's go. I will be placing this wager soon. Next up, let's jump over to Wright State. The Vikings/Raiders are heading to the Clit. Wait, this is actually at the Clit. Yeah. Wright State's plus 110 on the money line. Charlotte minus 140. This is another one where I sit there and say, like, okay, I know Charlotte's getting some hype this year.
Yeah.
But I Wright State, I know the opening day in Athens was a tough one, but after that, I felt like they got their stuff together a little bit and they were a little more impressive from the eye test. Yeah. So I like Wright State coming into the Clit. Now, granted, they are rivals of ECU, so I do hate them. Charlotte, that is. But I'm looking to jump on these Raiders. Bieniek, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, maybe some people are going to get some cold feet after me pointing them to Wright State on Friday last week, and they get blown out like 15-1. But they did prove me right in that I thought they were worthy of the money line at some point during the weekend as they win that Sunday game against Georgia, who a lot of people are high on entering this year. And I'm the one that's, I think, the low one on the Bulldogs and that whole transfer portal team. But yeah, so Wright State showed the ability that they're able to hit, and they faced power conference pitching last weekend. They're going to face a power conference arm here in Eddie Cooper. He's a reject from South Carolina. After injury, he hit the transfer portal, and he's now here at Charlotte. He had a really good Cape last summer. He sits in the low 90s with a really good slider. But the fastball is not going to blow away these Raiders hitters. Like, this is a lineup that's very good top to bottom. yes, they're in the Horizon League, but this is a program that has kind of been built off of powerful lineup play and strong hitting. And I think that once again they're going to challenge in this one. Cam Allen, the Friday night starter from last week, didn't get out of the first inning for Wright State against Georgia. I think that he can improve on that outing and go a little bit deeper in this game. And doesn't have too much of a taxed arm after only getting 2 outs last weekend. The other guy for Charlotte who started last weekend on Friday was Andrew Cribbs. He was their opening day starter. He didn't get out of the first inning. Then he started the midweek game against Clemson. So I think there's just inherited value on this pick as well as the books. I can't blame him for really not diving in deep and figure out who's pitching. But you got the Friday night starter for Wright State up against, a reliever from last weekend from Charlotte. Now, I think Eddie Cooper's got some talent, but I'll take Cam Allen, who threw 6 no-hit innings against Vanderbilt in the NCAA tournament regional last year in this matchup at +110 with Wright State. JP, how about you?
Yeah, I just think Wright State with the starting pitching. I guess Charlotte too. I mean, both of these teams are just in a weird situation with the starting pitching and just not a whole lot of confidence or reliability in anyone. I know Cam Allen kind of has more of that. I guess both guys have a little more lean on them and dependence, all based off last year. I'm going to have to go with the 49ers here to bounce back after the home series loss against San Diego. I think they bounce back at home, and I think they take the series. So with that being said, I would take them to win Friday.
We were on San Diego, by the way.
Yep.
Shout out Toreros. Should be a fun matchup here. Next up, let's jump on over to South Alabama, heading to Charleston, South Carolina to take on the Cougars here in Charleston. Charleston Coastal, I thought, one of the better games this past week. Very fun watch there in Conway as the Cougars upset the Chants. South Alabama -130 on the money line right now. The Cougars +100 there at home. Is it a letdown spot, Bieniek? Because my first thought would be like, I was so impressed with the way Charleston was playing. I think they could be pretty good. But then I'm like, wait a second, you beat a rival. You're coming back home. There's a pep in your step. You're going around town. Probably get drinks. Drinks are free. Broads are free. All of a sudden they're hearing about this win. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like the human element of thinking we're hot shit might be a problem here. But I definitely was pretty darn impressed by their performance. And I haven't watched South Alabama yet, so maybe it's a little bit of the human element here. Your thoughts, Bieniek, on this matchup?
Yeah, I'll say it once again. I think wrong team probably favored here. South Alabama lost their top 4 hitters to the portal from last season, whereas Charleston's already shown the ability that they're able to play up to competition and knocked off Coastal in that midweek. And that's more, the strength. That's judging the strength of the offense, up against midweek or bullpen depth start type of pitching with Coastal, but also, Hayden Thomas has some starting experience to his name. He had 9 starts last year. Mitchell here is a grad senior out of for South Alabama. He's spent his entire career there. Last year, pitched through injury. I talked to Coach Calvi in the offseason, and he basically said that, he was a Warrior, pitched through like a back injury for the final 3 months of the year. So he was attributing that, like, his lack of kind of strikeouts and ability to miss bats to that injury. We'll see how he does this upcoming season. His opening day start did not go super smooth. He had 5 walks, only 4 strikeouts in 4 innings. So I'm going to go Charleston here, and this is going to be my first lock of the day. Give me the Cougars.
I'll join you there. JP, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I do want to ask first, at the top of the screen, I see this game is being played in Charlotte. Is it a neutral site?
Wrong. That's Charleston. Sorry.
Charleston?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Bieniek, my wife makes that same mistake all the time. I've taken her to both cities, and she's like,
well, and to my my fault, but it was Charlotte, Charleston as back-to-back slides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Tough one to point out. I think I got a little spooked here because South Alabama did put up a lot of runs in a big offensive performance last week. And Charleston, I mean, really outside, I know they obviously secured the win over Coastal, but really haven't gotten a ton going offensively other than putting up 8 runs in opening day last week. I think it was a kind of a tough weekend for them against Rutgers after getting the Friday win and then dropping a few there. I think they get the bounce back win over Coastal. I think that gives this team a little energy bump there, and I think it's the opposite of a letdown spot. I actually think they take this one tomorrow.
Oh, right.
They're building momentum, and yeah, like I like the fact that if they were 1-3 on opening weekend, they won that Friday game. And that was the day that the offense showed up. So I do think there's some potential there. And with the South Alabama thing, their opening weekend opponent was USC Upstate, and they had to add 30 guys through the portal. Like, that's a brand new team from last year. That's not the same regional team that we saw from the Spartans. So I'm kind of selling high on South Alabama in this pick.
We also, I know. Did you guys catch Chris Pollard and what these Wahoos did, by the way? I mean,
murder.
What was I stopped watching, but I was like, oh my God.
Dude,
what they end with?
Once. They did
I know.
I know.
Dude. What was, hold on. I think I stopped at 29-0, right? I think I stopped at poor Wagner from Staten Island coming down to Charlottesville. Wait, I want to say I stopped. Was it 28-0 or 29-0?
It was so bad. They put up 56 runs in one day. There was a doubleheader and they scored 56 total.
That's tough. That's tough to be excited, especially opening weekend.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a great season ahead of us, guys. We got a great season ahead of us, guys.
Real good team.
Hey, our season ticket package is on sale.
Oh, that's tough. Shout out to the Wahoos. That I know it's Wagner, but hey, you can't start any hotter than that. Next up, we go to, actually, before I get to this next game, I want to let the good folks know that the college baseball experience is brought to you by, us. We are part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Get the SGPN app. It is free in the App Store, Google Play Store. It has access to all of our picks, podcasts, content, great articles being written all the time. And it's all in one easy place to access the app, the SGPN app. So jump over to the Google Play Store, the Apple Store, just type in SGPN. Download that thing for free and let it ride. We're also brought to you by Kalshi. Yes, Kalshi there. Kalshi or Kalshi, everyone says it differently, is a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. Kalshi has a ton of trading options for your favorite sports as well. And even besides sports, they get diabolical on you. They got markets including politics, entertainment, hell, even the weather. It's Kalshi. You can trade anything. Nothing like having nothing like betting on it for a chance of rain, right? But look, new Kalshi customers get $20 when you use the promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, KALSHI, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet's the #1 social sports book and casino that is out there, available in 35 plus different states, including the great states of Texas and California. Get in on the action with Rebet. Get a 100% purchase match up to $100 with the promo code SGPN. That's Rebet, promo code SGPN. All right, we are back, and the Big East is back for an instance. The Big East is back. Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights, who are plus 124 on the money line, heading to Blacksburg to take on these Hokies. Hokies are minus 160 here. I'm gonna let you guys handle this, but I'm curious because sometimes I give out my picks before you guys get in there, even though you guys are the experts. I like to beat you guys to the punch and see if I was accurate here. But kind of fascinated by this one here. Bieniek, does Rutgers deserve to be the dog that they are? You're on mute, brother.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I would put
You know what
myself
that means?
on
That
mute
means
when you're
no.
reading the ad.
That means you were having seeds. I know what's going on here. You got 6 boxes of fucking seeds back there, right? I go to read an ad. You're fucking just sticking a bunch of them in your face. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I'll do the same. Ace Ventura style. Anyway, does Rutgers deserve to be the dog that they are?
So I thought Rutgers had a fantastic opening weekend against Charleston. I do think they deserve to be the dog that they are, at least on opening day here, or on opening day, at least on the opening game of this series here against Virginia Tech. I think they've got a candidate to be ACC Pitcher of the Year, and Brett Renfro. He's that good. Pitched for Team USA in the summer. The collegiate national team had an excellent, summer pitching against the top competition from American college baseball. And I think that he is valid in garnering that minus 160 price from Virginia Tech. Dallin Harrison's going to be on the mound for Rutgers. I don't know if this is necessarily who they believe is their number one guy. This might be a little bit of also some gamesmanship here from Rutgers and tossing Zach Konstantinovsky, who has been one of their best the last 2 seasons. He's going on Saturday here, but Harrison's a San Diego transfer. Last year, he made just 4 starts. He was a reliever in 24 appearances for those Toreros. He was all right. He had a 4.78 ERA, 28 strikeouts, 19 walks, and 37.2 innings. But I feel like they're tossing out kind of, a jack up against an ace, and then they're going to throw their king up against Virginia Tech's queen, for example, tomorrow, and see if they can win a Saturday game. So I'm on Virginia Tech to win this game. I think Rutgers could put up a fight for sure, but I think Virginia Tech wins like a low-scoring 6-2 ball game tomorrow. So give me the Hokies and a little bit of every which way, minus 160, a little bit of the run line, and maybe an under in this game. JP, are you feeling the same way?
I don't know, man. Like what you said, I think Rutgers' opening weekend win in Charleston was pretty impressive. And Renfro, we talked about, they did sweep the series. They're 4-0, but William and Mary is who they opened up with last weekend. And his line from that game, let's see here.
It wasn't great.
Yeah, he went 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a homer in there, 4 strikeouts. I don't know. Honestly, just like the 160 price, I obviously always respect Bieniek's opinion. They call him the fortune teller for a reason. But for me, I'm not sold on the 160 price here. I think if I had to pick, I'd go with Rutgers at plus money. But yeah, I'm going to stay away from this one. This is one that I do not have much conviction on.
Yeah, I think if I had, I'll stay away, but I'll follow the Hokies there. I'll follow the Hokies just with I feel like the fact they've had the weather too. Blacksburg though, it does get sneaky cold. It does get sneaky cold as someone that's been to Blacksburg a bunch. Next up we have Well, in Greenville on Friday night, this is a 3-game series. First night is so North Carolina, the Tar Heels, top 10 of the nation, heading to Greenville, the Jungle, Friday night. That is sold out. That's been sold out for like a week. Saturday, it is they're playing in Durham, North Carolina at the Durham Bull Stadium, which is really cool. If you get a chance to go, JP, you ever been there?
I have not. I've played at the old one, the original.
Okay. Yeah. The movie. Yeah.
But I've not been to the new one. I've heard it's really cool though.
I think you just one up to me though by going to the one where the movie was. I think I'd rather go there. But it is a cool venue, the new one. And then on Sunday it is in Chapel Hill. But yes, North Carolina again for this particular game at East Carolina. And you know where I'm at, guys. I mean, first off, Carolina, they stopped schedule us in football after we dropped 70 on them. So they're a little wine and cheese. We're more blue collar, but so this is just a smash play as I see this plus 160. You coming into the G Vegas? You think this little logo here is going to work? No.
Colby, real quick. I know you mentioned game 2 at Durham. First off, hit bull, free steak. or win free steak.
Come on, man. Yeah, let's go.
And then you got the early scouting report on Jason DeCaro. Watching him throw last Friday. What did you see out of the guy that you're going to be facing tomorrow?
It was that was one of the stranger baseball games I've ever been to live, because I didn't come away super impressed, if that makes sense. But it's also the first game of the season, so
yeah.
But I can't recall a time, and I've been to a lot of baseball games. Maybe not all college baseball, but MLB. I mean, I've been to a ton. I used to go to 10, 15, 20 Dodger games a year, and I just can't recall. I know that's at the professional level. The game one specifically, all the runs were either they scored their runs on errors or they got into scoring position on errors.
Yeah.
Almost every single one. Me and my brother were just dumbfounded by that. Now, because on both teams too, I know Indiana, if you were to read up probably on a rewrite by their local beat writer, it seems like Indiana is the team that got just destroyed by them, and they did. But Carolina was making the mistakes too, on Friday night. So I know that that was an issue there, but it was just one of the stranger games. But he was impressive, all things considering. It was a super chilly night too. So especially to start the game off, the first couple innings, it was just like no one's hitting this dude. But as it went on, I thought there was some opportunities perhaps for the Hoosiers that maybe they didn't take advantage of.
To your point, he is very much a pitch to contact pitcher. His first 2 seasons in college baseball struck out less than innings thrown, and he relies a little bit on that defense that, they added, what was it, like 12 position players in the portal. Mm-hmm. And it's, they went for experienced hitters, and the question mark was a little bit of the defense. The pitching staff's strong, but it's the defense a little bit. And you kind of saw the good, the bad, and the ugly. A
lot of wild pitches, man. There's a lot of wild pitches. Like most of a lot of the errors to me were just like, and so I don't know if they were actually all on the pitcher, the catcher. It's just the rhythm. The rhythm seemed a bit off for both teams in that game. But anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
Well, that's going to point me to the dog at plus 160. I think it's a little bit of a crazy price with Ethan Norby on the bump for East Carolina at home in that atmosphere. Give me the live dog at plus 160 because I do think it's a pitch to contact arm with a defense that has kicked the ball around so far this season. Still working out and kind of ironing out some roles for the Tar Heels there. I think their offense is able to play. This is maybe like an over once they get the 2 arms out of there. This line will probably be set at like 9 or 9.5 for the total, and I wouldn't touch the under by any means. But no, I'm going to bet the Pirates here. I think that the atmosphere should be able to help out the guys, and the backs are definitely up against the wall. I think Godwin's going to get after the boys a little bit after the slow start. This typically happens, Colby. You've drilled that point home, whether it be the basketball show or this show here. And then this is the series that typically wakes them up. They get up for the Tar Heels every single year.
I mean, I can tell you, they could be playing a game of Chinese checkers, and I feel like everyone would be, you know what I mean? Like, this is one that really, like, the whole city, gets around. Whether you're you don't even have to be an ECU student. I think this is one like the Eastern North Carolina gets up for this game. And by the way, the ACC tournament, I see feels bad, man. The Auburn fan there. This year it's in Charlotte. I think they're rotating. Last year it was at Durham. Yes. I went to it last year at Durham.
They flip flop every single year, and this year I was planning on doing it last year. This year I'm going to make it happen.
Let's meet up there, man. JP, why are you taking East Carolina, and why did you? I understand you're an Elon Phoenix guy, but why are they the second greatest team then in North Carolina? And your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, a couple things here. I will try to keep this short. First, when we're talking about the defense and everything, I mean, I've had to play defense against these guys. It's miserable at times, and they put a lot of pressure on you, which I think is going to be kind of eye-opening for North Carolina potentially. I also think we talked about the slow starts, and you saw it last year. I think you see it kind of every year. They wake up for this series, and it looks like a totally different team that you saw maybe a week or two ago. also, obviously, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, is this a must win? No. But as far as the season goes, but I feel like it may feel like a must win kind of in that clubhouse tomorrow, especially with the way this game's set up. Being in Greenville tomorrow and then moving to a neutral and then at North Carolina, I think tomorrow night's game really feels like a must win for the Pirates. I think Ethan Norby's kind of going to have a fire under his ass after a tough start last week. So give me the Pirates to bounce back in a big way starting tomorrow.
I mean, it sounds
Play
like
the song. Play the
I was
song.
about to say we have a triple lock going right here.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
Pirates plus 160. Winner. Let's go.
Nothing that we couldn't do. We set out to defend our name, and now we'll never
Wait for that sax.
be the same. Never be the same.
I mean, just if you want to get laid at ECU, play that at a party. I mean, the panties just drop. Yeah, can't wait for this matchup. I'm gonna catch one of these ones. I was thinking about, dude. So the reason why I knew it was sold out is because like 2 weeks ago I was like, I'm gonna go to that game, and then I was like, it's already sold out. It's already sold out, man. Okay, so next up we jump to the likes of the Nebraska Cornhuskers catching plus 110 here. This is going back to Globe Life Park, and the Louisville Cardinals are at minus 140. So what, Louisville pretty disappointing out the gates. Bieniek, what about or I should say, JP, what about your Cornhuskers? Because I know you were high on them. What were your thoughts on opening day with the Cornhuskers?
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch them a ton, but big weekend out of them. I mean, I know we were talking about them last week on the show. They were like plus money all weekend. And did they walk away undefeated? I know they have at least 3 wins. What's their record at right now?
They went 3-0 in the Desert Invitational, and then they lost the Monday game to Stanford.
Okay. Yeah. Which Stanford, another team who we were kind of bullish on, that's been very competitive and kind of making, at least gaining a little bit of respect early. But yeah, I think the Huskers it's about what I expected. I don't know if the pitching's done all right. You saw it tick down on Monday, but it's about what I expected with just gritty at bats and putting together some runs on offense consistently. So yeah, this game initially screams over to me because of Louisville's offense, and I think the pitching struggles that they've had, Nebraska can hit. So I'm curious to see what the price is there. I also think, I mean, Ethan Eberle, the starter for Louisville, in the loss, he didn't have a terrible start. He went 4 1/3 with 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 2 hits. So I also think the Cardinals to bounce back here at minus 140 is a pretty good price there. So yeah. I mean, I am going to go against my Huskers, and I would go with the Cardinals here. But I'm definitely, if we can get a Friday night price around like 11.5 on the over under, I think I'm going to go with the over here.
There we go.
Do you think it's fair to say? Do you think it's? I'm sorry. Do you think it's fair to say that Louisville always kind of like Cliff Godwin? I feel like, is it a traditional thing they start a little slow, Bieniek?
I don't know. What they've typically done. Last year, Louisville, I think, went 1-2 or 2-1 when I saw them live opening weekend down at Globe Life as well. And that was where I was going to go. Is like a lot of this lineup is the same lineup from last year that played in this tournament opening weekend. And Nebraska also, I believe, played in Globe Life last year for a weekend. So both teams are relatively familiar, but Louisville's got that returning production that you can bet on in the lineup. That was kind of asleep early on in opening weekend, and it was cold, no doubt, in Louisville. And now you get the climate controlled, like 75 degrees or whatever, in Arlington, Texas, inside that dome that Colby hates. But Yeah, Ethan Eberle was not the reason why Louisville lost that opening day game. That was a pitcher's duel, and the offense didn't really come to play on Friday. Then they didn't really come to play on Saturday, and they got blitzed. So I think Louisville, we're getting this minus 140 price as everybody's kind of out on them, or at least has a little bit of cold feet. I'm willing to jump back in on the Cardinals here. I think this is pretty fair in taking what I think or believe to be a loaded lineup up against Ty Horn, who is a big game pitcher, but I don't know if Nebraska necessarily has the stuff to match on the offensive side of things, match Louisville there, as we just had Restream kick JP out. So 55 minutes. But I'm on Louisville. Lock it up, minus 140.
Bieniek locking up the cards. I'm going to join him on the cards here, too. Get back on the right side of things. Look, before we get to the next game, I want to let the good folks know that the college baseball experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, who does have college baseball action going, and it's fantastic. They got you covered for pick'em for almost every single sport that there is. Get in on Underdog, and you can win up to 5,000 times the amount of money you enter. And right now, Underdog has a brand new offer for new customers. Play $5, get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code. That is TCE SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm has been on an absolute heater for college basketball and the NBA as well. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or you can make your own and mess around with those sliders. Looking to go premium? Use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm. That's RITHMM. Promo code SGPN25. All right. Shout out to Feels Bad Man, Auburn Tiger fan, is saying he's going to see these Huskers in person next weekend at Plainsman Park there. A nice little non-con series going on in Auburn, Alabama.
Auburn likes picking on these Big Ten schools.
It's like in football when they schedule, Samford on week 13, right? I'm only messing with you. Feels Bad Man, sort of.
I think they had 2 Big Ten schools come down last year. I know Iowa was one of them, I believe. I can't think of the other one, but yeah, this is like the 3rd year in a row they've had at least one Big Ten visitor. It's an easy way to build your RPI because the Big Ten schools will suck early on in the year and then they'll beat each other up in conference play.
Bodickinson said, anybody know why
Bo
the Utah?
Dickinson.
Oh. Bodickinson saying, my bad, bro. Saying, I'm going to say this, Bodickinson. Young Bodickinson. Anybody know why Utah UC San Diego game was canceled?
Weather. It was rainy in San Diego all day today, so weren't able to get those first games in.
Lies about your rain. It never rains in Southern California, my ass. Next up, we go to Dallas Baptiste as they take on UTSA. Dallas Baptist laying minus 130 on the money line. UTSA, what is that, Bieniek?
Plus 100. That's the
what am I looking at here?
For whatever reason. It makes no sense because
I gotta
all
show
the room
you.
in the
I gotta
world
show you how to do this.
Final letter.
Yeah. Guys, wasn't there some news about these Roadrunners?
Yeah, unfortunately, their ace in Robert Orlowski threw a pitch and then his shoulder just looked like it came completely out of his socket. So he's going to be out for quite a few weeks. They haven't ruled him out for the year, but it's never a good time or a good thing if they haven't labeled a timetable on that. So yeah, that was quite a brutal injury to watch. And yeah, he's not pitching here on Friday, but neither is Dallas Baptist preseason ace and Ryan Borberg. He's carrying like a 31 ERA into this series, and they've moved him to Sunday. Russ Smith will get the start for the Patriots. Now, this is a fantastic series. I think both offenses are quality. Dallas Baptist maybe has a few more questions than the Roadrunners just based off of returning production from last year's team, but DBU adds a couple of premier transfer portal bats that I think we're willing to bet on that their offense will figure it out at some point. And they had a rocky first weekend against Binghamton. So I wouldn't say they're coming in here with total confidence on the road for their first road series. UTSA had a good opening weekend. Both of these teams enter this game undefeated, 4-0. I think neither one of them necessarily played tremendous competition. DBU's game against Abilene Christian in the midweek was probably the most challenging opponent that either of these teams have faced so far. But yeah, Connor Kelly last weekend threw 3 innings in his start, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. I think there's going to be plenty of offense throughout this series, and especially in this game. Give me an over when that thing comes out, and we'll talk about this series at the end here too. It is in the 11.7 pick'em contest. I'm going to take UTSA to win the series, therefore win 2 of 3. So they're going to be my pick throughout here. But I think it's going to be a very solid back and forth 3-game set. JP, how do you feel?
Yeah, I literally think what you said is exactly my read on it. Definitely hoping to get, again, like an 11 or 12 Friday night price tomorrow and hit the over, especially with both of these pitchers or so-called aces not throwing. But yeah, the more I look at this too, like I'm starting to think that the books are doing this on purpose, and they know that the public and people getting into college baseball will just naturally take the minus 120, minus 130 in these coin flip games. So yeah, I am also taking UTSA to win the series. I think the dogs are going to be barking tomorrow. I think there's a lot of them. So give me the home dog and UTSA.
I wish I could battle you here, but I think UTSA is the play as well. So let's meep. Next up, let's go to the Irish. Notre Dame. They're going to the College Baseball Classic there in Jacksonville, Florida, taking on the very shiny Golden Knights of UCF. Notre Dame plus 115 on the money line. I think UCF's minus 145. And look, I felt for UCF the other day because they you're just bored and you're sitting around and there's no games on, like put that game on. ESPN Plus, one of the best things about ESPN Plus is they do offer the replay of the games. Oh, let me tell you, they almost stuck it to their rivals, and someone had to lose that game, unfortunately, because that game was an awesome watch. So my first thought is I look to load up on UCF after Heartbreak Hotel. Bieniek, how about you?
Yeah, I think UCF's probably the side that you want to pick. Jack Rydell, the ace for Notre Dame, didn't necessarily have his greatest start against Florida Atlantic on opening day last weekend. He only went 4 innings with 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. I think he could bounce back here. But the angle that I'm going to use, Colby, is this tournament, this Jack's College Baseball Classic Live Like Lou edition. There are 2 look-ahead spots for Notre Dame here. Number 1 is, of course, the defending national champions in LSU, who they play Saturday night. Number 2, and maybe more importantly than Notre Dame, is they play Indiana on Sunday. So I think of all the games that they're going to play this weekend, UCF might be the one that sneaks up on them. Yes, Notre Dame has their ace going here, but I think that UCF will win this game, and Notre Dame puts up a good fight the rest of the weekend. But I think this is a rough weekend incoming for the Fighting Irish. So give me the Knights in this one. I think they get it done. JP, how about you?
Yeah, as a Bearcat, I'm not very fond of the Knights here, but I'm definitely backing them tomorrow. Their starting pitcher, Braden Smith, I know this is against Siena, but last week he went 5 innings, no runs, 5 hits, or 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, showed some really good stuff. I also want to point out, Bieniek, you might have to verify this for me, but with Notre Dame playing in Florida last weekend, I have to imagine that they stayed down there, right?
Yeah, I have no idea to answer that.
Did they play a midweek?
We know they have the money to. This isn't like a MAC school down there. You know what I mean?
No,
like
sure.
They have the
Colby's
resources.
right.
Yeah.
No midweek. So they probably went back to South Bend.
I don't know. I would be interested in that because I do think I don't know. You maybe saw it with my Bearcats today. Just when you're on the road for 2 weeks straight, it just starts to kind of nag on you after a while. Not sleeping in your own bed, eating wet eggs from the hotel every morning, and
I like that.
greasy bacon. And so if they've been down there for 2 weeks, that gives me another reason to be on the Knights. But I will be on UCF tomorrow.
Yeah, and we haven't mentioned the Knights offense here. I mean, Deamas Ross led the country in average for a lot of last season, probably through the first 2.5 months. This year, he's hitting for a little bit of power too, which is dangerous. They've got 4 guys in 1,000 OPS. The other 2 that I want to mention here, Andrew Williamson just got such a nice swing from the left side. And how about Jordan Lodies, the brother of Kyle Lodies and the cousin of Alex Lodies, who had a fantastic year for Florida State last year, and his brother was with UCF and Georgia Tech. So, Jordan Lodies is a name to keep an eye on, as he's a freshman and hitting really well so far. But to JP's point, it was Siena on opening weekend. So we'll see how the Knights do, but I think they win this game and they have a good weekend. I think they go 2-1 this weekend.
Yeah. Next up, let's jump over to the likes of the Terps, the Maryland Terrapins there, as they head to Lafayette, Louisiana. Take on these Raging Cajuns. Terps are -110 on the money line. The Raging Cajuns, is that -120?
Yeah, -120. You can pull it up on the sheet.
Yeah, I have DK open right now. I just need to I'm curious what you think of this one, because I kind of like the Raging Cajuns here, but the Terps, maybe it's just I'm reluctant to load up on these Big Ten teams, with the exception of the California schools. But Bieniek, am I a maniac for thinking the Raging Cajuns can stick it to the big boys out of the power conference, the Terrapins there?
Yeah, of all the Big Ten schools, and we'll throw that in quotation marks here as we're talking about a former ACC school, Maryland. The Terps are one of the better programs. Of recent, but the last couple of years they have not had their greatest seasons, and it's kind of a prove it year for Coach Swope there for the Maryland. And Lance Williams, the former East Carolina Pirate, will once again get another start. We talked about him last week as he played or pitched against UNC Wilmington. He went really well, had 6 strikeouts, 2 walks in 5 innings. And he was a great reliever / spot starter for the Pirates last year. I think he faced Louisiana at one point. Don't book me on that, but I think the Teague is a very tricky road spot for a lot of teams. But Louisiana opening weekend did not impress me whatsoever. They kicked the ball around a ton against Missouri State, and the Bears hit pretty well against this pitching staff. So I'm on Maryland at -110, at least on Friday here. I think the Louisiana, they could be chippy in the series, and they may even win the series. But I think Maryland's got the edge here on Friday up against Louisiana's Ty Roman, who we don't necessarily know their rotation yet, but that's who I'm projecting because he started last Friday, JP.
Yeah, and Ty Roman, I want to be clear here, like 8-2 loss on Friday to Missouri State, but this was a 2-2 ball game. Or let me see here. I have that wrong, possibly. This was a 4-2 ball game going into the top of the 9th. So it's not like he was totally at fault there. He pitched pretty solid. I'm a huge fan of just this atmosphere in this stadium. After them losing Friday and Saturday, I put them on my card for Sunday just because I thought there's no way in hell they're getting swept at home. And they played with, I watched almost that whole game. They played with a lot of juice and a lot of bounce back fire. So I have a feeling they'll, especially after the midweek victory, kind of carry that into tomorrow. So I will side with the home Cajuns here tomorrow.
Let's go. Raging Cajuns. Next up, we got Iowa, the Hawkeyes heading to Boca Raton to take on FAU. Iowa's -145 on the money line. The Owls, who are plus 150 or 114 on the money line there at home in Boca Raton. Bieniek, this is another one where maybe it's just I want to fade your Big Ten, but I mean, at home. You're getting some value on these Owls. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that you are kind of correct in indicating that there's a little bit of value here on FAU. Opening weekend, they gave Notre Dame all they could handle on Friday. Took down their ace in a 7-1 ball game, but only put up 2 more runs in the final 2 games of that series, and were outscored 21-2 on Saturday and Sunday. So I really have no idea what we're getting out of FAU moving forward. I liked some of the pieces that they had coming back. I think they have a solid lineup with 2 stars in it. And Blake Guerin's the brother who's at South Alabama. Tyler, who's still at Iowa and their Friday night starter here for this one. He did not have a good go of it last weekend down in Arizona. He started against Kansas State, who kind of shined. Their offense was incredible that weekend. So I'm maybe not taking it for surface value, but he only went for 3 innings. He gave up 7 earned, 5 walks, just 2 strikeouts. And he doesn't have a whole lot of a track record to bank on. He had a good summer in one of the summer leagues, but I'm going to go with the home team, FAU, who took down a proven ace last weekend on Friday. Give me the Owls here at plus money, but this is not one that I'm super confident in. JP, how about FAU and James Littman?
Yeah, James Littman last week against Notre Dame, you mentioned the big 7-1 victory on opening day. He went 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts in those 4 innings. So showed some really good punch out stuff. You mentioned it though, like Iowa loses 15-6 on Friday. FAU wins 7-1 and then gets absolutely smoked on Saturday, Sunday. So like this game is definitely a stay away from me, but for the sake of the show, I'm going with the Owls as well. Just because of Littman and what they showed on Friday night and being at home.
Yeah. Let's talk about that K-State squad next though.
Yes. We have Kansas State plus 100 against feels bad man's Auburn Tigers there. Auburn laying minus 130 on the money line there. This is once again Globe Life Series there, or the college baseball series at Globe Life Field. Bieniek, you seemed really excited to talk this one, so please elaborate.
Yeah, I am excited about this one. I was really looking forward to Auburn's season this year. I think I'm higher than some people on this squad. And a lot of it's due to the offense. Now, they did take a big hit in their star second baseman and Chris Rembert going down with an injury. And he's projected not to be back for a few weeks. And they said it until conference play. So maybe 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see on Rembert's return there. But they've got depth and they have experience with talent in that lineup. So I'm not worried about the offense. Now, the question mark that everybody has on this Auburn team is the pitching. And I'm willing to hear him out, but the one guy that I'm not able to really get behind is those that are doubting the left-hander and Jake Marciano, who had a good freshman year in the ACC. The ERA was bloated, but he had like 70 strikeouts and just 19 walks last year in a power conference. And I think that he's going to give him a good start. And he did last weekend as well. I think he's their best arm that they've got. I do believe that this K-State offense is the real deal. They were down in the MLB Desert Invitational. Now I'm questioning the quality of competition. I think all 3 teams that they played in this thing were, good baseball programs and brand names, but I think all of them are just a tad bit down right now. Iowa and UConn, Penn State's kind of been on the come up, but I think on Sunday they were really vulnerable on the mound. They got mercied in 7 innings, 24-5. But this K-State lineup has shown the ability to be able to hit. James Guyette, who's their Friday night starter, though, he gave up 4 earned to Iowa, where we were talking about that 15-6 result on Friday. He did punch out 8 with only 1 walk, but I just don't think that he's going to have a whole lot of success here against Auburn. I would be looking at an over here, but for the show, this is going to be a bet for me. Give me the Tigers minus 130. I just have a little bit more confidence in this group and this fan base showing up right now. So Auburn.
Yeah, I think for what you talked about too, like the value we're getting at this pick. If you told me a week and a half ago that I would be able to get Auburn money line at minus 130 on a Friday night against K-State, I would be ecstatic, which is the reason I'm also going with Auburn. I think you have kind of a hyped up Kansas State team after a big weekend last weekend, like Noah said, against some teams that maybe aren't that great. And then Auburn kind of struggled. We talked about expecting them to have one of the best offenses in the country, and it's really, really struggled through the first 4 games. Marciano was nasty with 12 punch outs last week. I think getting beat by my Bearcats 8-0 at home kind of woke this team up a little bit. Maybe I'm going with Auburn to bounce back this
that
weekend.
in there.
Yeah,
I'll
throw that in there. I'm getting, but now if I'm pulling for the Bearcats, I'm pulling for Auburn to be the best team in the country now to help that RPI. So War Eagle, I'm going with the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm with you too. Look, Feels Babin's asking about the total. There's totals are not out yet, as far as we could tell.
Over,
so
though.
yeah,
I would take the over.
Let's go. Not
I
like
would
an over
honestly,
on a blind number.
Yeah, I would honestly take it all the way up to like a 13.5 possibly. So, yeah.
All right, next up, let's jump over to TCU. Is heading to beautiful.
That's just flat out silly that the slide does that to abbreviated team names, that it can't carry one extra letter for whatever reason.
TCU is in Westwood at Jackie Robinson Stadium there. Taking on these Bruins. That was another game that was great that I caught some of. Was the who was that? Who was playing UCLA this week?
UC San Diego?
Yes, UC San Diego. That was a fun battle there as well. TCU is plus 145, where the Bruins are minus 188 there, I believe, at home. Bieniek, curious, I know TCU had some issues early on, but curious your opinion on both these teams thus far.
Yeah, I mean, TCU, I wouldn't say the issue was necessarily on the field. Off the field, they've received some tough news that Tommy Lepore is going to be out for quite some time. They're taking it as a precautionary route, but I was sitting behind the plate for that Friday night game with TCU and Vanderbilt. I just wanted to watch both Lepore and Connor Fennell throw from that vantage point. I was sitting next to Jason Ratcliffe of 64 Analytics, and we were watching some of the pitch metrics on the tablet. And his fastball metrics were kind of fluctuating all over the place. And we were like, oh, that's something that we probably should keep a note on. And then little to no time later, we were kind of hearing that whispers that he was going to get checked out. And now he's out for the weekend, unfortunately, for their biggest non-con series. And honestly, the biggest non-conference series in the country this season. This is one that everybody's looking forward to. And that obviously takes a little bit of the steam out of it. But we'll see that Mason Brassfield will start for TCU in that spot. They'll move everybody up. And shout out to my guy, Uli Fernsler, out of my area, Novi, Michigan, getting the Sunday start for TCU against the number 1 team in the country in UCLA, even though they took a loss in game 3 to UC San Diego. So that was a little bit controversy. Like, how are they still the number 1 team when they took an opening weekend loss? But either way, UCLA's offense played well. Pitching staff was vulnerable as it got deeper into the weekend. That's been the question mark on the Bruins, at least so far from me in the preseason and opening weekend. But Rudimant's pretty solid. I think he's a premier arm. UC San Diego is a good program too. They hit him. They touched him up a little bit. Wasn't anything crazy, but I think that TCU should be able to do the same thing. I'm expecting a little bit of runs from both sides in this one. Probably stays under 10. UCLA wins a game that's probably 5-3, 6-4 in that range. Give me the position player talented group out there in Westwood. UCLA, they edge this one out on Friday, and they take the series 2-1 or 3-0. JP.
Yeah, I mean, really interesting one, especially talking about TCU here. You talked about UCLA dropping the Sunday. I mean, Saturday night, we're talking about everyone on social media. TCU is real. I mean,
Yeah.
right? Beat Vandy, beat Arkansas. They're real. And then they come back, get their ass kicked on Sunday, and then drop a midweek.
Yeah.
So, and just not great performances. And then you get the news that your dude, I mean, conversation and pitcher of the year nationally is out. I still love this lineup and I absolutely love this group. I'm not going to bet this, but for the sake of the show, I can't take minus 188 on the Bruins here. I do think the pitching is still vulnerable, as Bieniek said. I'm gonna go TCU. I think they're gonna be kind of all hands on deck to try to scratch this one tomorrow, with Brassfield being their best starter by far, I think, to go in this series. So I'm gonna go with the Frogs.
I'm with you, Hypnotoads. Let's go. Give me TCU against these boys in Westwood. Next up, let's jump over to the Utah Utes, San Diego. Chat was just asking about this one. So what? Tomorrow's delayed?
No, so today, this was a on the West. There's a couple of series this weekend that actually went Thursday through Sunday. And this is one of them, like this tournament, or just get together of teams. It's not necessarily a bracket or anything. But yeah, San Diego is playing. Who are they playing tonight? I forget. But yeah, all those games, the 3 games were rained out tonight.
It was supposed to be UC San Diego, I think.
Okay, yeah, UC San Diego against Utah.
Yeah, that's right. So for this analysis, I mean, San Diego obviously was a darling of ours from a week ago. The Utes, I didn't catch the Utes. Did the Utes look good, guys?
So this is one of my favorite plays, and it has been for an entire year, is Utah on Friday. and I bet it last week against Fresno, and they won 8-3 comfortably. And the reason for that is Coulter McAnally. And he's very much like a candidate for Big 12 Pitcher of the Year this year. We were talking about it with Tommy Laporte. He's one of the guys nipping at Laporte's heels. And yeah, he had a good outing last Friday, and he's been super sturdy for Utah. Last weekend gave him 5 innings of scoreless baseball, or 1 run. It was unearned due to error, which is the Achilles heel of Utah is everybody else outside of McAnally. The offense, it's inconsistent. The defense can, boot the ball around a little bit, but at minus 110 with a true ace on the mound, I think it's always a good look. On the road here against San Diego, the Toreros are a solid program. It's not like they're facing Fresno State of last week. I'm not betting this one, but I do think my pick is once again Utah. Like, they got the ace on the mound that I love. I'm taking the Utes here in this game. JP, how about Diego Gutierrez and the Toreros that won the series last week at Charlotte?
Yeah, Gutierrez had, let me pull up. I actually did not have his outing pulled up from last week. He is I can't find it.
I got you.
While you're pulling it up, this game I was actually originally on San Diego because we were seeing a Friday night starter against a Saturday guy if Utah were to play tonight. And I do think this Utah team really trends down after Friday, as Noah said. This Utah team is kind of starting to remind me a lot of a Michigan State team for me last year. You take Desirwa on Fridays and then you leave him alone for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
And you're always going to get him at a decent price. So I also flipped here to Utah. Give me the Utes. I just think better pitcher, and this team, I think you're going to see a trend that like they're going to sell out to win on Fridays because that's often going to be their best chance. So give me the Utes.
Yeah. And then so Diego Gutierrez, he's a Northridge transfer. Previously at Northridge last year, he made 14 starts. He had a 7.85 ERA in the Big West. So it's not like a tremendous arm, but he has experience. He's a graduate senior. Last week he went 4 innings against Charlotte, had 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, 2 earned runs. So I think Utah's got a fighting chance. Minus 110 on a team that probably should be the rightful dog. San Diego's better on paper, but Utah's got one of the best pitchers in the country. So it's an interesting one. Felt worthy to talk about. So. Yeah.
No, I think you swayed my pick. I'm glad we did this because I was going to throw some action on these toreros. So you guys schooling me here. Utes it is. Next up, let's go to BYU in San Diego taking on the Aztecs. BYU is what laying or no, they're plus
238.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Minus 238 against San Diego State, who's plus 180. Is that, Bieniek?
Yeah.
Tell me about this one because I have not caught any of these teams play ball yet. So very curious on this one.
Yeah, so we mentioned it on last week's show that we typically only include like games that are coin flippy or bettable or like premier, top games of the day or weekend. This one, I wouldn't necessarily call it, but we included it because I think San Diego's got a real shot of winning this game. Plus 180 on the money line. San Diego State, plus 180 on the money line against BYU. There's just no way in the world that I would lay minus 238 with BYU. Their program is not, in the place to be laying a $2.40 price. Anytime. Last weekend they faced off against Western Kentucky. They hit the road, and in that series, the offense did not show me anything real special. They put up 7 runs total in 3 games. They won the first game 3-2, lost the second 5-2, and lost the third 4-2. So I think it's going to be a lower scoring output from the Cougars. First off, and then secondly. This get together of the 6 teams or whatever you want to call it is called the Tony Gwynn Legacy Invitational. Tony Gwynn, absolute legend in the San Diego area, specifically at San Diego State.
Also played point guard for San Diego State too.
Yeah, there you go.
Dual threat athlete. Rest in peace. Yeah.
So he's an Aztec legend, and the Aztecs have a new head coach this year, Kevin Vance, the former pitching coach of Arizona, and he grew up in the San Diego area, revered the San Diego State baseball program, played for the Aztecs, always dreamt of coaching there. Now he's got the job. And I think that there's going to be so much emphasis put on this game. You could argue that's a bad thing, but at plus 180, I think the price is outstanding. I think if it was me, I would probably put San Diego State plus 120 in this match against BYU. You look at this team in general, they added 14 power conference transfers through the portal with Vance's connections on the West Coast. He did a really good job recruiting a lot of talent in. The Friday night starters, Rowan Leto, who's an Arizona State transfer who didn't get a ton of opportunities, and now he's getting an opportunity. And he looked pretty good on Friday last weekend for them against Long Island. LIU, the fucking Sharks, Colby. They are the NEC favorite to win the league this year. The offense is good. He threw 4 innings, had 10 strikeouts, 2 walks. He did give up 3 earned to the Sharks, but I thought it was an overall pretty solid outing for a lot of pressure in his first start in his career, first Friday night start. There's some pressure there, and I think that, got that under the wing now and have that experience, and I think he's going to go out there and give him a good shot to win this game against BYU, and I thought the offense played pretty well for San Diego State as well. Last weekend against LIU, they put up 12 in game 1, 12 in game 2, won 6-5 in game 3. And then they were pretty respectable in a game against UC Irvine in the midweek. And that's a pretty talented pitching staff. So I'm all over the Aztecs here at the plus 180 price. I love it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you just heard it all a lot from Bieniek. I didn't really have much on this game. I haven't seen either team play. But when Bieniek sends you a text a couple hours before the show and says, hey, I'm adding this to the card, and I'm on the Aztecs, and it's an underdog, you tail the guy every time.
Oh yeah.
Well, it didn't really work out with Wright State, but we're hoping to fix that this week.
Well, that one was a little. We knew that was that was
longer dog.
Yeah. This one is like a respectable. I mean, Colby, if you were blindly looking at this game, didn't know the odds yet, and we showed you this, you'd be a little shocked, right?
100%. And I'm not even like to me, I'm still like in practice, whereas like,
especially
like,
early in the season, like
yes. Yeah. You're like, what? Why is this on the radar here? Love the Tony Gwynn angle though. And I can get behind that. I also can get behind BYU being a team I never like to bet on in college baseball. So there we go there.
Don't bet on them, but watch their home games. It's a good site.
I hope they continue to throw more. Like at BYU, we've seen it in basketball and football. I hope it carries over into baseball because they have a ton of money. I would love to see them become a power with that backdrop there. I know JP, you were talking that you got a chance to go check it out, right?
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I don't know if I should say that I did have to like sneak a couple Coors Lights in the parking lot before I walked into the game. But, great place to watch baseball.
That's 10 years jail time in Provo, dude. Watch out. Feels bad, but appreciate the coverage, fellas. He's been telling everybody about 11.7, and then two in the chat says, look, you see what I did there? First time
I'm laughing at his comment.
Well, I think his name is 2 a.m. I would assume, but first time tuning into a live baseball show. Noah's how's the Syracuse Orangemen looking this year?
They gotta start their program back up.
Yeah, let's get it going. You got Costas. Where's that money coming in? All right. Brett 1231 says, what's the best way to bet college baseball? Starts with listening to this show, Brett. DK. Okay, next up, let's move along to Wichita State on the island. As we well know, it is a hard ticket.
It's a hard ticket to Hawaii. It's not paradise all the time.
So, I mean, I think they're always America's team in football and basketball and baseball. But it's something about the time slot. We're talking like I hadn't seen BYU or Utah play ball yet this year, or San Diego State. I've almost caught every pitch in the Hawaii games. So it makes me like a hardcore Hawaii fan. In this day and age where college sports is being ruled by television, you would think at some point, they would just get a TV deal with CBS Sports or ESPN or something and just play the basketball, football, and baseball at midnight because it's the only thing on, and the gambling has taken over the country as well. Legalized. It's always been there. You're not getting beat up anymore and blaming it on a lawnmowing accident. But guys, Hawaii baseball. I know Wichita is a solid program. But these are my bows. All right. I'm loading up. I know that's terrible odds, but any chance Wichita goes in there and pushes these bows around, Bieniek?
So it all depends on, I think, how legit the Wichita State lineup is. They were putting up runs left and right, but as we were talking pre-show with JP, the only school that is within like a 3-hour radius of them is Northern Colorado. And as he described them, they suck. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but not great. And in the Summit League, they've been like a middling team, and that's not a great conference. So Wichita State is a team that I'm kind of interested in, just seeing how legit they are. When you head out to Hawaii, the baseball games are always close. So it's like, I don't think any team's really going to pull away from these bows whatsoever. And if so, it's like the Manoa Magic that they keep tweeting about. They had 2 walk-off wins on opening weekend. Opening night, they went on a walk-off bunt. And then on Monday, they went on a walk-off against Gonzaga. Their team, they're just going to stay in there and grind out games. And with the last at-bats there on the island, they typically have a good opportunity of coming through. On the mound is the interesting story here, because the series begins on Thursday with these guys in Hawaii. is tossing Isaiah Magdaleno, their ace, on Thursday. So those that are listening live right now, I actually think it's a good look with the Bows minus 180 there up against Wichita State, who's starting a typical midweek arm, who I wouldn't even say is probably a top 5 or 6 arm on their team entering this season, and he hasn't pitched yet this year. So I would take Hawaii minus 180 there in that game. In this game, it's an interesting one. So Brady Hamilton's going for Wichita State. He's their Friday night starter. He had an all right start last week against Northern Colorado. They pulled him after like 70 pitches just because it's early on in the year. Hikili Robelo went for Hawaii, and he's been excellent for the Rainbow Warriors so far this year. In the fall, they couldn't stop raving about this kid. And in his first start against Gonzaga, who's one of the top teams in the WCC this year, he had 7 strikeouts, 0 walks, only 1 earned run in 6 innings. He did give up 6 hits, but managed to maneuver his way around a lot of the base runners there for Hawaii. They did end up losing his start, though. I don't think it's more of his fault. They just didn't put up runs in that game. They only put up 3. They lost. Actually, no, scratch that. They won his start. They won 5-3. My apologies. They won the Sunday start. So I think the Bows scratched this one out. Again, low scoring 1 or 2 run fashion. Run line on Wichita State would be my top angle other than the under here. I think runs could be at a premium. I think Hawaii edges it out. JP, your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm on the Bows tonight, actually, in that pitching mismatch there. So if you got about 10 or 15 minutes to get in on that.
Maybe a little bit longer. Isn't
interest.
it 12:35 or is it 11:35?
I believe it was 11:35.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And then, I guess your stay away or maybe Wichita run line is tomorrow's game. Again, I do not have much. They could have beat Northern Colorado 20-0 4 times, and it wouldn't be telling me very much. So I've also I didn't know a whole lot about Gonzaga, but I've seen some people that were, maybe not super high on them, but at least there was some buzz around that program, maybe more than usual. And I know that was a super competitive series. So I'm on, in this game, screw it. I'm taking the Northern Colorado fade. This number's juiced based off those wins. Give me the Bows.
I see it's sold out. I just saw it right now. It's sold out.
Bows.
These crowds. Let's go. All right. I want these Rainbow Warriors. They're my team. They're my boys. Next up, we will jump into that concludes the games, but the 11.7 pick series survivor here, youtube.com/the college experience. If you jump on over there, you see the pick'ems and survivor there. And we know that the first one we all take East Carolina. That makes sense. Next up, TCU was our play. Bieniek. Just in case they're new listening and didn't catch last week's episode, can you break it down real quick?
Yeah, there's still time for everybody to jump in. All you got to do is sign up through the 11.7 website. And those that are saying, "Oh, this guy's just front running," he also works with 11.7. We were doing this previous to me joining their team. This is year 4 of the contest, and it's year 4 of us competing in the contest and giving out picks for this. I think it's awesome that this is the top 6 series, basically top 6 coin flip series of the weekend, and we'll pick them. So the home neutral home series of North Carolina, East Carolina is the first one on the list. I ended up going with North Carolina. I'm betting East Carolina in game 1. I think the price at plus 160 is something that you can't pass up with Ethan Norby on the bump in Greenville at Clark LeClaire with the jungle, everything that comes with playing at East Carolina. I think the Pirates are definitely live game 1, and they've got a fighting chance in the game 2 and game 3. But overall, I'll take North Carolina's pitching staff and the experience in that lineup to get the job done in this series.
Yeah, I'm taking, I know we're all on ECU. I'm taking that win to kind of pump some momentum into this team. And then obviously, you know how it is. You win a Friday, that means a lot in winning the series. So I'm giving them to scratch out another gritty win, whether it be Saturday or Sunday. So I'm going with the Pirates here.
Yeah, You don't need to ask me. Bieniek, where are you going next?
Yeah, so the next series is TCU at UCLA for 3 games. We talked about this one in the Friday rundown as well, and I gave my thought process there. Like TCU was solid throughout the Arlington opening weekend in the 3 games that I watched them play. The offense didn't necessarily blow me away, and then they went and got blown out by Oklahoma in game 3 and lost the midweek to a team that they shouldn't have lost to, and I believe it was Abilene Christian off the top of my head. And I just don't think they're carrying a whole lot of momentum here. They don't have Tommy Lepore for this series. I think UCLA, they're number 1 because of the lineup and the talent in that position player group. And I think they're going to be able to get the job done with a couple of, big innings, 2-3 run innings that they scratch across, build some momentum in those games. I think they get the job done. UCLA wins the series either 2-1 or 3-0. JP, how about you?
This one's tough. The Frogs are one of my teams this year. I've been riding them early. I got them in Omaha. I got them to win the Big 12. I just think coming off the 2 losses and hearing the news of Lepore being out is enough. I think at full strength, I would think about taking the Frogs here, but I'm going to have to side with the Bruins at full strength at home.
You guys are wrong. Give me TCU. Give me TCU. All right. Down, Ewing theory. Let's go. Figure it out.
That storyline there for you, Colby, and I'm pissed I haven't brought it up yet, but like Sarlos, the head coach of TCU, is from the SoCal area, and he always does one of these trips, and TCU plays pretty well. So, yeah.
Let's go. Next up, we have UT Rio Grande, the Mexicans, heading into Houston, take on these Cougars. Cougars looked all right too, right? Yeah. I mean, shout out to the Cougs for a nice, impressive first couple games there. Bieniek, what are you doing here?
Yeah, the Cougars looked really good down in Puerto Rico, going 4-0 there. Rio Grande held their own in a home series against Kansas. I would have loved for them to have won that series or maybe held on to an 8-2 lead against Texas Tech in the midweek that they ended up blowing. But yeah, Houston with 3 wins over power conference competition opening weekend kind of proved to me that they should be the favorite to win this series, and I think they will. At least 2-1, possibly 3-0. So I'm on UH here. How about you, JP?
Yeah, I'm on the Cougs coming back to the States hot off a 4-0 week in Puerto Rico. I think UTRGV obviously was super competitive with Kansas. Kansas drops the midweek to Lamar. Maybe there's some question marks there. I don't know. I'm going with Houston at home here. I think it's going to be competitive though, and them being 4-0, I think there's no shot at a sweep here. So I wouldn't be shocked if this is a pretty competitive series that goes down to game 3.
Yeah, I'll take the Houston Cougars as well. But great crowd, by the way, in Edinburg, Texas over the week. That was pretty awesome stuff there. Dallas Baptist, UTSA. I've already jumped on these Roadrunners, but Bieniek, are you going to stick with it for the series?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, we talked about them in the Friday rundown as well, and I'm sticking to that handicap. Give me the home team in what should be a pretty offensive series, I think. I think the Roadrunners will edge it out. This one's definitely a 2-1 series that probably comes down to a Sunday rubber match, JP.
Yeah, this reminds me a ton of the Santa Barbara Southern Miss series from last week. This is the 2 premier mid-major teams. Shout out to 11.7, number 5 and 6 in the rankings, most recent. So 2 powerhouse mid-majors, again, with some injuries in the bullpen. I think where if you're betting on this series, looking to bet it, whoever loses Friday, you take them Saturday, because I think this one's going to a game 3. And I'm going with the Roadrunners, the home team.
Yeah, let's go. Then we have Moneyline McIntosh's boys, West Virginia.
Morgantown, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Morgantown, WP.
Heading to the Flaming Libs of Liberty. Taking on, I mean, this one, Lynchburg, Virginia here, with that Jerry Falwell money, you know, I don't know. I haven't read deep into the Epstein files. I'm just assuming he's there. But West Virginia at Liberty, Bieniek, you know, I'm a company guy through and through. I got to take these Mountaineers, but any chance the Flamin' Libs knock them off?
Yeah, if you're strictly handicapping college sports on continuity and like what returning talent teams have, Liberty's your team for sure. They returned 7 hitters from last year's team and 2 weekend starters. Their Friday night starter and Ben Blair's fantastic, and he should give Liberty a chance to win on Friday. However, with those 7 returning hitters in that lineup, it was one of the country's worst last year. They hit like 250 as a team. And I'm not quite sure how much I'm expecting them to take a step forward and improvement and development there on the offense. Whereas West Virginia, we've seen this program consistently be able to deliver and be overlooked when it comes to expectations. 2 years ago, super regional, last year, super regional. And with both of those teams, they've had to reload through the portal. Like, this is a coaching staff that's been there and done that with the roster building portion of it. They've got a couple of D2 transfer arms that they love. The offense has some sticks in it that I like. So I'm on the Mountaineers to win this series after a weekend that they looked very impressive in against Georgia Southern, sweeping them down there. That's a quality program in the Eagles. So, JP, how about you?
Yeah, really good starter in Ben Blair for Liberty. I know they were on my list of potential dogs for run lines tomorrow, and there's a good amount of them, honestly. But they were on my radar. With that being said, the West Virginia offense went down to Georgia Southern and just got off on a hot start right away. I mean, I think they put up over 10 in game 1. And I think you got to take the Mountaineers here.
Right now I'm currently watching this UConn Arizona game. UConn grabs a 4-3 lead in the 12th with 2 on. One of these teams is going to be winless. Yep. Quite the hilarious game here.
I think that's just a pillow fight. Everything that we've seen out of Arizona so far has not been impressive, coming off a College World Series run where they basically lost everything from the offense. And I don't know how good UConn is this year. So that one's a really interesting pillow fight.
And then the final game on the 11.7 pick'em is Wright State, Charlotte. You know, I'm on these Raiders here. Get this clit nonsense out of here. Bieniek, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm going Wright State. There's something that I can bank on in this series, and that's the Wright State offense. Charlotte kind of looked all over the place in that first weekend, and of course, Charlotte was included in this pick'em series last week. They were my survivor. They fucked me, so I'm not picking them in the second week. Come on.
That'll get them.
Yeah.
I took Charlotte in the Friday game. I'm taking them to bounce back at home. Answer the bell. Toreros came in and wrecked their opening weekend. I'm going to take them to bounce back here. Give me Charlotte.
All right. And that is our show, folks. Is there one more slide here?
Yeah, just to recap and then give out any bets that we had.
Are any off the reservation here that we're not playing that you feel good about, Bieniek?
Off the reservation, that would be a money line parlay that I've got. Southern Miss looked incredible in opening weekend. Like, the offense, I think they came to play against UC Santa Barbara, who's a very good pitching staff. There's 7 guys for the Golden Eagles who have at least 1 home run so far this season. They play Purdue here on Friday. I think they get the job done. And JP and I, for full transparency, we're kind of building this parlay together pre-show. So I like Southern Miss on the money line. Also, I love Barbara this year. They play Portland. I think they get the job done with Jackson Flora on the mound against those Pilots. And then for one more to kind of get this thing down to about even money, give me USC on the money line. Mason Edwards, their lefty, looks to be the real deal. I like his stuff a lot. And I think the Trojans at home there at the newly renovated Dedeaux Field, I think they win that game. And that's the minus 104 money line parlay for me. JP, are you on that thing as well?
I am, yeah. And to be transparent, that's actually like I'm usually a big fan of like 2-team in these money line parlays. These are literally 3 of the only teams that I would feel confident putting in one tomorrow. Off the record, I'll just throw these out for potential dog run lines tomorrow. Liberty against West Virginia. Kent State will be going into Knoxville, Tennessee. They're coming off the 3-0 weekend and then hung with and covered a 4.5 spread against LSU in the midweek. Ohio State is a team who Justin Hare in year 2 had a big opening weekend going against La Tech, who I believe just kind of had a big midweek loss here. I don't know. I just think there's value there. And Missouri State is going into Ole Miss. We just talked about how well they played this weekend, how many dudes they have in that lineup. That's one to look at. And then Michigan State coming off the big weekend. Who do they have? Texas.
Ooh.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. I think the dude threw well. I mean, with that being said, a lot of these I'm talking about thinking about snagging them if you can get like 4 or 5 runs on the line. So nothing like nothing 1.5, 2.5, but if you can get like 4.5, I think these are worth a shot.
I'll throw one more in that group that I'm looking for like a good size run line, and that's Fullerton against Stanford this weekend. That's a rivalry. The Titans usually give the Cardinal all they can handle in those games. Fullerton for me there, and I'm scrolling through just on like gut shot totals on anything that I would like, giving out an angle here blind, but maybe further on in the weekend, those Missouri State Ole Miss games should feature plenty of runs. I think Kansas State games down in Globe Life should feature plenty of runs.
One thing
UConn,
I have down
unders.
here, unders. Both offenses have been atrocious. Another one that we didn't talk about is potentially Oregon State and Baylor. I would potentially play the under there. I know Baylor exploded on offense against a New Mexico State team, and this is more of a Dax Whitney play more than anything. So potentially taking the under in that game.
And by the way, UConn just opened it up to 6-3.
There we go.
0-5. Arizona.
So recapping the locks for me on the day: Auburn minus 130, Louisville minus 140, and then a handful of dogs. I had Charleston plus 100, East Carolina plus 160. My favorite dog of the day is San Diego State plus 180. I think there's a boatload of value there. JP, how about you?
Yeah, I am on Auburn. I'm on UCF. I'm on Charleston, Long Beach State, East Carolina, and I think I'm gonna hold out there and wait for a few totals to pop up here.
Yeah. ECU. Surprisingly, ECU is the play. You guys sold me on these on the Utah Utes. But I like the San Diego State angle as well. I'm going to jump in on that. And Auburn, and give me a UCF. I'm going to jump in on UCF too. The way that I saw them play the other day.
Long Beach too.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Long Beach State as well. Yeah, I hadn't gotten there yet. I even like the Charleston angle. I think I'm going to go in on that as well. So that is all of the ones that I really had circled. Probably going to stay away from the UTSA game. Yeah, I think those are all the locks I feel best about right there. So yeah. All right, folks, give Bieniek a follow on Twitter at NoahB77_. Check out his other work with the college basketball experience. JP, the Head First podcast. You guys need to check that out, especially you Bearcat fans out there. I think you're going to really enjoy that one. So shout out to JP Sponseller there, and check out his work. He's on Twitter at headfirst_pod. All right. So give that thing a follow. You will appreciate that, I am sure. I am on Twitter at @TheColbyD. The college baseball experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. YouTube.com/the college experience. Come watch the show. Hit that like and subscribe button if you can. And cannot wait for all this action moving forward. Let's go. This is the college baseball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.
Run, you shoot.